Hey everyone, let's deep dive our this RAG roadmap with Node series module 4 and backdoor storage. Okay, here is our section. This is the backdoor storage where you embedding a live and get served. Before I explain, let me ask, what do you think backdoor storage? A beginner might be say is a database that store vector the card but missing magic. Vector storage datasets optimized finding similar vector lighting speed even when you are billion of them. Searching billion vector right before you force our scaling 1 billion vector store millisecond the speed different entire reason vector storage is. That is the reason. I hope you now understand why is matter even when it's a billion. You need to second. That's the reason using vector data and also have the meaning of this. Okay, the big picture why vector stores matter. The foundation problem. You have 1 million document chunk. These have dimension. Use query one vector. Find the top most similar vector out of a million. Media approach comparing queries similar data. 1 million case similar calculate. Yes, 1 million. And each of clients is multiplication tool that represents operation time in several seconds too slow. Vector store approach uses specific intent. Okay, what is a vector store? Let's dive into the what is the vector store. Let's using first principle. Traditional data sets is like a school data sets query and using from where age. Look at extremely match uses interest little bit of store. Okay, vector store. Vector store quickly find documents similar of to this query. Vector look for the accused match similar not Coco, just index line. Okay. And okay, the key insight vector store answer the fundamental different question. SQL find the row where x equals y, and vector store find the row most similar y. That is the difference. The query is completely different data structure and algorithm. How vector store work? Let's deep dive how it works. Okay, how vector store work? Okay, how is it work? Last dive. You have 1 million 1036 dimension vector query came in the as a one vector and we approach from the each of billion million store vector calculate the consider similarity query store vector so by similarity return the top 10. Okay, cost and cross d where n is 1 million d is the news 1.2 billion operation just okay this unit represents million not a second millisecond not a second okay the solution is nearest ANN index. Okay, what is ANN? Let's try to do vector store. Use the clear data structure approach the nearest neighborhood without comparing to the FB vector. Smart approach. Each and SW algorithm building a grades why the similarity vector are connected. Start at a random vector. Move to neighbor that's closer to query. Report it until you can't get closer. Return that's this vector and this is the neighborhood. Neighbor and log in instant. The value is over the similar vectors connect. This is like algorithm using this algorithm which is similar than this code. This algorithm and give this login instead of the version is oh, that is really great. The trade-off broad forest, of course, but slow, and 95 or 99 accuracy, but fast. Okay, that is the way. This is one to the loss in accuracy in particular based on the already persistent. Don't worry about the understanding images. Just know vector store specific algorithm. Find the similar vector first. Or if you want to go in that back, you will start. Okay, the free vector store in Scape. According to this comprehensive table, let me explain the store from amazing deep understand. So, chroma, face, create, and visible, and this type embedding. This is server, manager, and service of the best for learning, prototyping, and to implementing the self-host. This is for self-host and hyper-search. Ultimately, this is cloud-based. Okay, comma. If you are using the portal, you must be using comma because you are self-hosting authority. Understand the type of comment. Embedding, run instant you Python process and no separate and service and need it like a SQLite for vector. Zero setup, easy to start, and course does not scale approximation. Best for prototypes, small apps, and learning. And embedded and library, library. The Python library you can import the store in vector and in JSON, but it's no stock. Okay, fine. Server is run on production. You cannot connect over the network and HTTP and database. Okay, and manager. Mm, best. Okay, deep dive each of vector store. Comma. The learning default. What is one source embedding vector database design specific for LLM application? Easy to API and phrase need. Why stay here? Zero startup, install and go. This is easy why you start here. For beginner, free forever, and with use, learning rack, and this is for you when you not use. Each share across the multiple servers, very high accuracy, but if this is not for production. If you are start to learn this, you can use. This is the one code base is the lens and comma and lens in OpenAI embedding as a comma is the data source. There you can collect your data set. This is your URL is collect save your text. Text name. This is your storage. It's all on run your own local storage. First period jumping. What is this? Facebook is similar to search library. What is C++ and why is it based on some tabulations? It is spreading by many data and space. Okay. When to use need to maximum search, spread it, research, and experimental custom drag and pipeline on operation searching. When not to use need to several multiple. Okay, complex matrix filter, limitation, frequency update, and data representation. When is simple or LangChain community vector input freeze from LangChain OpenAI. True, fail. Okay, Q rank production suites. And this is like to production level. What is production ready vector dataset writing in rush and fast and safe? Are based with the rest and Why is it? Production grade reliability, reach and metadata filtering, self-host cloud one free as product application need complex dataset filtering, multiplex, one to style free and so forth. From legendary queries, client and importance, client query, URL, client querying URL spin, API, your API key, here you put in your API model embedding, like the story querying, client querying, document spec. Okay, that's just all. Pinucom, the Zero Ops Cloud. What is this? Fully managed clouds backdoor dataset, not inference managed, and origin backdoor dataset service. Why is it zero instead? The Zero Ops Cloud, the Zero Auto Scaling, including ethical backdoor free trial. Okay, this is the code. Your API. Okay. New verse the billion scale best prices open source distribution back to the same build for massive scale billion back to use the major tech company production why use it and a billion of backdoor when not to use small budget over scale new constraints. Okay. Decision framework which backdoor store vision 3 for vector store section star RE. Just learning React. Yes, using Gamma in the prototype using this kernel and or face both simple free and run locally. Production application. How many vector? Is 10 vector? No development team. Free time. Have development team. Self-host. Application more 10 vector. No developer. Paid. Have a developer use them. This is largest use. Okay. Specific requirement maximum space. This is depend on what type of product and what type of project are you working. Factory store operation. Okay. This is CRUD. Understand CRUD for vector. So create, read, update, and delete. That's a skill you already read. You are not. The four fundamental operations on any dataset. For the vector store, create a new embedding with search similarity with update modification and retribution. Each of operation has unique color in the vector store that doesn't exist traditional dataset. Create a additional document. The creation process document embedding model vector store in the DB. Behind the scheme, take your text, call the embedding model API call. I'm so sorry. It's too night time, so I feel sleep. Don't talk about that. Let's focus next part. Okay, great. Document. Creation process document embedding back to store. Behind this, take your text, call the embedding API, and look outside reviews. Unique ID, original text. Okay. Model on add text simple string. From legend command, input commands, input command string, employee get other virtual services. Okay, method one is creating section, add text simple string, or using metadata. This is data source and everything. method 2, add document, launching document object. Launching has a lot of options. Okay, document and method 4, build a vector store for script. This processing for efficiency. Similar search with school. Search with metadata filtering. Similar search by vector. Update when you need to update the dataset. Update pattern 1, delete or react. You can delete and react. Update pattern, upset command sentences, update document, production grade update function, input has reload. And update document only if change. Try system vector. Okay, let's go to that. Remove the document. If you want to delete any document, just using this method. Delete by filtering. Delete this collection. Soft delete pattern recommended for production. Where's production level? Return false if not. And then full CRUD left production ready application. This is full. Complete code. And this is input file and setup loading. Level loading for format. Okay, this is production level this code for read operation, update operation, and this delete operation. It must be like this type of code. That's how, but not using this type of too much emoji when you are working with the production level. Use demo. Fail model interview preparation. Okay, let's dive the fail model interview preparation. This is one of the important part. The failure score direction core assume high score is better, but comma returns the distance lower is the better. Filter keep worth metascape instead of the better. Read the docu vector score carefully. Embedding model mismatch. Problem: store the vector with model A greatest with the model B. Come with random retrieval match just December. Store the embedding model name is colored the metadata validation. Okay. No custom IDs. Later will store and was the significant meaningful stable ID. Use a meaning scale scope data. Duplicate vector and the index not building update. Memory expression missing persistence. Filter index variation. Interview question. This is most important when you are going to take interview. Why do you need vector stores in such a regular dataset? I hope you know this answer better way, and you gave me this answer better with this strong answer. I believe that. Vectors will solve the foundation different problem from traditional datasets SQL, datasets Excel, or add the Excel batch query using B tree index, find the row where each query 25 vectors stored, the extend approach a similar query, high dimensional space, and find the document most similar to this query. Vector the math in different traditional index cannot efficiently search. But you use a specific algorithm like HNSW, HNAW, HNSW, HNSW, and IBF. Remember this. Traditional without the search algorithm made a mistake and double first and the mistake in the second with a 95 or 99 accuracy is pretty straight out of it. Okay, then how would you choose between chrono and current? Okay, if we are working as a not a production, depend on the spectral scale ups on scaling and budget. I start with Chroma with prototype because it's embedding, no server, zero setup, and process production with the under everything small develop capability. I choose the best. It's where the manage similarity, cost of damage, and whatever section. Okay, this is what is the difference between similar search and max mergeable relevance search? This is one of the question of the similar search. Return the top k most similar document by choosing similarity. The problem is those top k results might be all the nearest duplicate and reduce the contrast other than maximum margin. Solving by the balancing ripple with the first page largest condition parameter is straight up 0, pure relevant and same similarity, 0, pure. How do you handle document update in a vector store? How do you handle document update in vector store? Update quickly because the vector represent the old text, choosing next query. Re-embedding by the production scaling class uses custom data. Okay, then common mistake. All vector store have the same API, different API and this method. Okay. Can I switch vector store easily? Difficult. Differently store has different index type, different scaling. Okay. And last we go to the engineer mindset. Exercise for beginner, intermediate, advanced, and resource for more learning and more explorer. 20-80% rule. I tried now, but I end this video.